In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
To a show called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Ali.
I'm Lucy.
Hey!
And I'm not here. That's Rayman. He's not here.
Classic Rayman.
I'm Rayman.
I was out in the road.
And he's falling. Or he's moving away from us very rapidly.
Infinitely falling.
It's like, I can think of like several sci-fi or horror settings in which you come across an alien mind, and it's like to emulate the power of one alien mind, you need like four human minds like working together. And I feel we need four presenters to make up for the absence of Chris Ray.
Yeah.
So there you go, Lucy. Me plus you.
We roughly
just
equal,
about Rayman.
Yeah, we roughly equal Rayman.
I know you joke, but you're basically describing our entire relationship. I have known him longer.
You did introduce him to me as your not husband.
Yeah.
I mean, which I'm not thinking back. I'm not sure how I should have taken that.
No, it makes a lot of sense because when I do the podcast with you guys, I feel like such a third wheel. Yeah, like it's really awkward.
Is there hate every week? The fact that you're still here.
Yeah.
You're just not taking the hint.
We don't make eye contact. I don't actually let Nick introduce himself. He edits that in later.
Yeah, it's the only way I get a look at.
Guerrilla editing. Yeah. Well.
What a format shift. I mean, format's king on this show.
Format.
Can't spell format without four.
Well,
I was thinking this is the only confirmation of the significant others that hasn't happened on this show yet.
Combination.
Confirmation.
Confirmation.
Oh, sorry. Pardon. I can't
confirmation
speak.
bias.
This is not my usual podcast. There aren't any dice around. There isn't a book. There isn't a character sheet.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm very out of my element right now.
The energy is it's all wrong.
Quick, let's roll a dice.
But like Liz and I did a show when Nick was not here, so Liz and I equals a Nick.
And me and Liz
right.
did a show
when
you guys weren't here. Yeah.
So
weird.
Hmm.
Here we are.
Trying to work this equation
I know.
out.
I feel like
I don't think it works.
No.
No, but wait, because you were in it.
This is a podcast. You have to tell people
who you're pointing at.
Ali.
at.
Me.
Yeah.
No, right, yeah.
You were in it when Chris was, and John. I'm so confused.
Yes. No, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Me, Liz.
Did
You
this
plus
when
Liz
John and Lucy
weren't
John.
here.
Yeah. No, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm on board. What?
My hate for this week is Nick is still here.
It's really bad, isn't it?
That's one of the unwritten rules. You can't hate people.
The energy in the room is awful.
You can't hate something that's actually hate-worthy. Like, that's
It's like a show called Pity.
That's hard. Yeah,
We can look
show.
down on him.
Yeah.
Don't kick him.
And that's Nick's podcast when he gets home.
A show called Pity.
Yeah,
oh,
just
it's
you.
worse for me. A show called
You just lock
Pity.
yourself in the bathroom for an hour.
It's worse for me.
Colon. Oh, no.
I've got troubles.
Oh, wow. It would be an amazing brand campaign for the UC charity.
Oh, yeah.
It's like colon. I got shrubs.
Ulcerative colitis. Colon. I've got troubles.
Just saying.
It's selling itself.
Just saying, call us.
We're here.
Get off the pan and call us.
Just be a sponsor.
I'm not sure charities sponsor people.
Well, maybe this is the first time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I got it the wrong way around.
We'll call you. We could be a sponsor of ulcerative colitis, the disease.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get yours now.
Anyway. Great cold open, team.
Well, running episode.exe. Now, Ali, Lucy, I doubt you listen to the show because
I was about to
God
say.
knows it's awful.
I hear your
Yeah.
voice enough at home.
Yeah, true. And I've done my best to insulate the studio when we're recording, but I imagine a little bit of noise gets out.
That's why I play The Sims with the volume turned way up.
It's also why our skin is boiling off right now.
Oh, it begins. Leather chairs were a bad choice.
Oh.
But yeah, format is king, as we so
always.
often say.
Yeah, we do.
You do say it a lot.
And
It doesn't
so
make it true, though.
we always start the show by each describing a hate. So who has a hate they'd like to kind of bring to the table? It's like a therapy. Who wants to go first?
I have hate. I have lots of hate.
Oh, here we go.
Such joy.
You can only pick one.
Fine. Well, I spent all day since I knew I was going to be doing this podcast this evening trying to pick one. And I thought that the thing that's annoying me the most in my life right now is poorly optimized traffic light signals.
Is it the one? I know the one.
Oh no.
The one outside that campus building.
The ladies' college.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
where
yeah.
they've changed the road layout so that you now can't go straight ahead because you get fined because that way is like
Yeah.
taxes and horror. So everybody wants to turn right at that junction, but there is no filter whatsoever. So like 2 cars can get through that junction at a time because the cars coming the other way, quite rightly, are going through their green light, and that's a constant stream of traffic coming through there. Like that's a main route through the centre of Cheltenham. But it's so frustrating when it's like, if someone's paying attention, they could fix this. It's like, all it needs is a filter light on that stop go thing.
I feel there's a Venn diagram here
Yeah.
where there's a circle within a circle, and in the
wheel within a wheel.
inner circle, like a never.
Ending traffic
Wheel.
light.
I feel there's a circle. The inner circle is your hate.
Yeah.
Then there's like a millimetres clearance, and then there's a slightly larger circle, which is called the grim reality of the road system in Cheltenham.
Yes.
Because, like, it's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Cheltenham is awful to drive around, and it used to be like my superpower that I knew how the one-way system worked in Cheltenham because I'd lived here my whole life and I'd learnt to drive in it. And now they've changed it, and I don't know how it all works anymore, and I'm too scared to drive through the centre of town.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit like, do you ever go to the swimming pool when you were younger and they had like those whirlpool bits where it kind of like sweeps you around?
And everyone's
Yes.
got to go
Yeah,
the right way.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? You just
You
join
just
a
enter
lane
and hope that you
and
can
be
leave
like,
at some
wee.
My
Where will I come out?
That's so true. Like that's genuinely my method of navigating, because like you have, Ali, have quite a good knowledge of like where I want to go and the roads by which I should take to achieve.
Yeah,
that
I mean, I don't know
sentence.
any road numbers or names.
No, but you know
Well,
when to
but,
turn.
but only in the context of Nick when you're trying to find things. Like Ali always knows where you need to be.
Yes, she has
Yeah.
preternatural psychic sense. Like
Even
Nick,
if we're not together.
you'll need the toilet.
You're
right
like
Turn left!
now. no. Oh, it's all over.
so you're like you are like a subatomic particle where Ali knows your position or your speed, but
She
not
can't know
both.
both. She can never know. That's what we need the Heisenberg compensator for.
You're at work and you're just like, oh, he's running.
But yeah, no, my way of navigating is I drive into town and then I sort of hope after that. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then it's like, I think it was left here. Oh no, it definitely wasn't. Oh well, there's probably something around here that
But
I
if you
need.
turn left enough, then eventually you'll get the right
That's how you
place.
solve a labyrinth. I think that's how you
true.
get out of
Yeah,
Cheltenham.
just keep the left hand on
On
the
a wall.
curb.
Yeah.
On the curb, yeah. I'm just leaning on 2 wheels.
Or like it's like those racing sidecars. Have you ever seen those where the back is just like a flat plane and you just have like your co-pilot just constantly leaning out, as you say, with one hand. on
Or like those racing catamarans, and they just lift
Yeah.
up and he's got his
Yeah.
hand in the waves. It's like that. That's how Ali and I drive.
So really, Cheltenham needs to get more like Venice and like install
Yeah.
waterways.
Yeah, it's halfway there.
Then it'd be fine. Okay.
As
But
it,
yeah.
when I was younger and growing up kind of locally, like learning to drive, Cheltenham just terrified me. Like just the road layout, everything about it. I
It's
had
mental.
No idea how to find anything. I can't tell if it's got better or worse, or I've just got institutionalized
Older.
over time. Like I
What's
really have
weird
no
about
idea.
it is that by the standards of the United Kingdom and the environs of Northern Europe, Cheltenham's not that old a town, really. Like there wasn't much here, like few hundred years ago. which means that they built the roads in the era of at least like large horses and carts and stagecoaches and stuff.
There's
Like,
very little excuse for this. is
yeah,
what you're
like
getting at.
the Regent Arcade, which is a major shopping centre in the centre of Cheltenham, used to be the stagecoach stop. Like,
Oh, okay.
it was the town is built around a pub.
Nice.
A place where all the post boxes came and went, and people in fancy carriages turned up to go to spas and things. Like, it's not like like London where the roads were all put in by sheep.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
And still are today.
it's got no excuse. It should be better.
Well, it's always been like a tourist trap, even going back to like.
As in they can't leave.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
They just spiral inwards.
I guess like in the olden days, if like early settlers had arrived at like a riverbed and they would have gone and they would have like, I don't know, picked up like a leaf and let it blow on the wind, and they go, yes, and go, that's where we'll build, you know, because like.
Oh no. Oh, it smells bad. Let's just go down a bit.
Yeah. Or like the natural accumulation of like the elements, and they go, this is the perfect place to build. Whereas Cheltenham was kind of like the waddling of like someone really high on laudanum, just kind of like twitching. Oh, that looks like a road. Yeah, we'll do that. You know? It's always been the walk of shame.
Yeah.
Like that. That is Cheltenham, like from the dawn of time.
Cheltenham is drugs and gambling and drink, and that it always has been.
Yeah, I think
It's
originally.
lovely. You should come.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, come on down.
Come along.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
hey,
No,
Cheltenham
drugs
Council
and-
could sponsor us.
Yeah. Drugs and gambling and drink bring a lot of money into the area.
Yeah.
Like, we are a wealthy, despotic.
That's what
sit
makes it
town.
okay. There's plenty of money there. It's all good.
I've seen more casual cocaine. Oh, I said that really poshly.
Casual cocaine.
Cocaine use in Cheltenham than anywhere else.
Well, I've never lived anywhere else apart from York, which is also pretty fancy. So, yeah, I mean, maybe my boundaries are higher.
The streets are paved with cocaine in York.
But no, it's like it irritates me because it could be better for the most part. It's not even just like the traffic control; it's also pedestrian crossings in Cheltenham are bad. Like to go to work, have to walk out to a large major road that goes out to the motorway in Cheltenham, so it's always very busy. It's like I have to cross half the road, which is 4 lanes wide,
Oh, jeez.
and the pedestrian crossing button isn't actually kind of synced up with the lights properly. So I push the button, and yes, when the lights turn red, the man goes green and I can cross. The cars will then sit there for an extra minute and a half while the red man is on. Completely safe for me to cross, but if I've turned up during that part of the cycle, I have no idea how long
Oh,
it
I
is
see.
until those cars move.
Yeah.
And yet I
so
could-
you're stood there, and they're all looking at you like, for God's sake, why isn't she going?
Yes,
And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
stood there going, for fuck's sake, why aren't you going?
Yeah, and it's just
And then the man turns blue, and you're like, oh no, what does this mean?
And again, it's like it's just that frustration of there's a better system even in the UK, in London, in even like minor junctions.
With the timer.
They have a timer that tells
Yeah.
you how long until the light goes green. It's like
New York did that as well.
I as a pedestrian can decide how long it's going to take me to get across the
The
road.
timer's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah. And it irritates me no end. It's very annoying and it slows me down, and I don't like things that slow me down.
Where do you stand on that very particular behaviour that?
She stands in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
End of
Yeah.
question. As I say, often observed among particularly broad-shouldered men who will just walk into a road
Oh, yeah.
and will saunter. They walk very slowly across traffic because they know
You can't hit me.
if
I'm
I,
a pedestrian.
if I ran them over, that would be a crime.
Yeah.
Be worth it.
But the weird
so
thing
annoying.
is that I've now been to a number of other countries that also have roads and pedestrian crossings, and a lot of them that's the standard.
Just
Like,
walking into the road.
yeah, like well, jaywalking is a crime in many other countries. Canada is a big one that we've been to, and I went around a lot of cities in Canada. But the reason it's a crime is because it's so easy to cross the road, because we kept getting weird looks at junctions because cars would stop for us
Expecting you to
and wait
jaywalk.
for us to cross. And that's not jaywalking. There's a crossing at every single junction. It's just there's no lights. You just walk out
Just
to the
go.
road. Canada even has a type of crossing where you literally hit the button and start walking across the road, and there's like
Really?
lights that
What?
go off, and if people
So it's basically instant stop for
Yeah.
cars.
And all the cars have to
The
sort of
screech.
screech.
and it freaked me out because I'm like, what if they don't stop? Because in the UK they might not stop. Like I've
In the
crossed,
UK, yeah.
I've crossed crossings that are actually legitimately my right of way, and cars have not stopped.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And so
I don't stop for anyone.
That's the weird thing. I think like in the UK you have to jaywalk to get anywhere in any reasonable amount of time. But in other countries, they found ways to make it less troublesome to cross the road. But I still don't want to get hit by a car.
I think in this country, the driver is is king. Basically, you pay so much tax and so much,
and you have the power to
fuel
kill.
is taxed so much. I think the government just wants to keep motorists happy. Screw pedestrians.
I remember in Tokyo, because like when the lights are changing for the cars.
Yeah.
And so it's gone to amber for the cars, so you know that the green man is imminent.
Yeah.
So we often in the UK, as you say, because we jaywalk, we step out then because we know that they're stopping.
Yeah.
So it's bad, but we still do it. So I did that in Tokyo, but they're all so perfectly adhering to the green man. I remember getting like a whole street worth of dirty looks as I stepped out into and you stayed back. I remember.
Yeah, I let you go.
I was just in the middle of the road. I looked back at you, and then I just saw all of these Japanese faces like.
That just says so much about us as individuals. Like, you're willing to like break out and do your own thing, and I'm just like,
You think?
Nick, don't.
Don't. Everyone's looking at you. Well, the whole country's looking at you.
I'm prime 1984 material.
I'm not with him.
Yeah. Hiding behind your A to Z of Tokyo.
I mean, I guess maybe this is like a symptom of being in a relationship, but like the amount of times that we holding hands have come to a road, and while still holding hands, we've each made completely different decisions about whether to cross or not.
Oh no, that's awful.
I mean, you get into this weird halfway point where suddenly it's like, oh, like I'm
One
kind
of
of
you's dragging the other
I'm
into the
kind of
road.
halfway back, but Lucy's already halfway there, and that car is getting closer. And
I've got to make a decision.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's never elegant. Like I don't think we've ever elegantly crossed the road while like interlocked.
I don't care about elegance. I care about getting where I'm going.
Yeah.
You care about efficiency.
Yeah,
Results.
and that's the thing. It just irritates me because it could be better. And if it was already perfect and didn't work, I don't know. I'm not sure where that sentence is going actually. But
No,
that would probably
I liked
also
it, though.
irritate me. But
If it was perfect, completely finished, and there was nothing else to do, and it still didn't work, I don't know what that means.
yeah, no.
Just curl up and die, really.
Yeah. I think that's the apocalypse.
What more is there to live for?
That's the singularity.
If we bulldozed like every other retirement palace which has been built in town,
That would be half of Cheltenham.
Yeah, you want to nuke Cheltenham?
we could probably widen the roads, is what I'm saying. It would be amazing.
Let's do that. I'll start.
Yep, I'm all for
Problem
it. Yeah, yeah,
There we go.
definitely.
Okay.
Seconded.
Great.
Okay. Next.
Next hate.
Next.
Move on.
Is it me?
I guess, yeah.
I think
Okay.
it is. We were looking at you.
So I hate things that are not spelt properly, and I refuse to use them if they're not spelt properly.
But this isn't spelling mistakes, is it?
No, like intentionally.
Oh,
So,
I
for
see.
example, Tumblr. I mean, I don't want to use Tumblr anyway, but
What you saying?
Where you
There's
go get more of a Reddit. More of a Reddit
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah. Ah, yeah.
Reddit is also spelled incorrectly.
what?
Oh
That reaction! You nearly burst into tears.
No, but it's spelt how it sounds.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
meant to
so
be
it's
like the
Tumblr.
words read it. I read it on the internet.
I know, but like Tumblr.
No, come on, you've got to be consistent with your
Tumblr is
hate.
missing a vowel. Tumblr.
Okay, so
That's just
is the
stupid.
distinction. Tumblr is a word. You could look up the Oxford English Dictionary and you'd be able to find Tumblr, but you wouldn't be able to find Reddit.
Reddit
It's
is
'cause it's-
a brand name, I guess, that they've.
I
know
think it's not trying to
sounds
be a
like-
single word.
Yeah, Tumblr. There's no reason to miss out that e. They're just being lazy,
No, it sounds internet.
and they're
It's,
trying to
yeah,
save
it's
money.
2000s internet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like,
They're
Did
trying
they-
to save money on their graphic design.
I
by
don't think that's
knocking
it.
a letter
We don't
out.
charge. I work for a graphic design agency. We don't charge per letter.
Oh, really? Because it's never come up. Why didn't they do away with the U?
Exactly. Tumblr. Like, you could just get rid of all the letters.
Mm.
You know, why not? Yeah. I read it on.
But there was a similar one around in that kind of like 2000 the second .com boom when social media was first a thing, and it was called Flickr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Flickr's
that's
still
We
the
still,
one.
we still
Is
use
Flickr,
it.
is Flickr still a thing?
Yeah.
We use it at
Screw
work.
Flickr.
Yeah.
That may have
Screw
been the
Tumblr.
first offender. Like, I have a bad feeling that Flickr was the one who invented this idea of
Yeah.
taking a random vowel out.
And am
just
I
going
imagining
with
it, or did Twitter start without the e?
Ooh,
Was
that's
Twitter
controversial.
originally
I don't
Twitter?
know. But if that's true, they realised the error of their
Yeah.
ways. Jammed it back in there. So there's just no reason to be missing a letter. Why misspell your own company name? You look
So it's-
inept.
So Tumblr
it's
should be
easier to
Tumblr.
Google it.
I presume.
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Or O-R?
Yeah,
E-R?
Tumblr.
ER.
Yeah.
Tumblr.
I'm thinking like a large jug, though.
Yeah.
A tumbler.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it a tumbler of glass?
Yeah, like a whiskey, like quite a large...
Yeah.
I mean, you could have whiskey.
But
out.
why? Okay, so let's get into that. Why is the site that is kind of Twitter but with pictures and, I don't know, lots of other weird stuff, why is that named after a cup?
Because I guess you're chucking loads of different stuff in there.
In a
Yeah,
cup?
because like Tumblr is also what you
Like a
roll
rock
dice
tumble?
in, like, or you shake up things
like
in,
a-
like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
right.
don't have a problem with the name. I have a problem with the spelling.
I think I have a problem with the name now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
I mean,
That's my hate.
is it just when they lose one letter?
Yeah.
Or are there other examples? In this rich
Lots of things
tapestry of
spelt
hate?
spelt with like a Z. At the
Yeah, I don't mind that so much. That's quite dated, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's quite like turn of the century sort of thing.
I feel like you've complained about this a lot, and I'm trying to think of some examples.
all right.
Can we track? Because Lucy made a very good point that like losing a letter was very much of the era, of a particular era, maybe like mid 2000s.
Yeah, it's now
Yeah,
kind of become
yeah.
a parody of itself. Like,
Yeah.
we have. I work for a company that makes apps, and we occasionally have customers that want to like. The big thing at the moment is to put my X or your X
Okay.
and squish the words together so that they're like one thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
I thought that was
that-
just my work.
Like MySpace.
no, there's loads of apps that's like the thing you do now. Like you call it like my photos or my
Space.
space.
What
yeah.
it becomes.
And it kind of becomes just one word, but
Oh,
with
I
a capital
see.
letter for
My
like
hat.
the second one. Yeah.
I've never had a hat.
Let me just grab my hat.
And that's
an app.
that's becoming dated.
Okay.
So dated, and we
So-
keep trying to tell
Let me
our
just put
customers
on
not to
your
do it.
shoes.
Okay, so what are the trends? This may not
Let me
be.
walk a mile in.
Yeah.
MySpace.
Your pants.
Your pants.
This may not be chronological, but I want to say that like 90s was very much like let's put a Z on it.
Yeah.
X's,
Or two.
X's everywhere.
Or two, yeah, X's and Z's.
Yeah.
They were the sexiest letters. Then it was like
I think they are.
the I something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was I.
Which Apple somehow lent on and have carried on doing, and it still doesn't sound any better.
Well, they like invented it.
Yeah, but then when it came to doing the watch, everyone was like, it's going to be the iWatch. It's like, no, it's the Apple,
Apple
Watch.
Watch.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Also, what was a pod?
I
Explain-
know,
Wait,
because this very thing we're recording now is called a podcast
Yes.
because of that.
Yes.
What, because of iPods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh my
started
God.
as a thing you downloaded onto iPods. A
That's
podcast.
amazing.
And it's-
And yet
yeah.
nobody does that.
It was
now.
a broadcast for your pod.
Yeah.
Ah.
And it's like it became a podcast, and now it's like it doesn't mean anything.
This word literally, this thing we're creating, just meaningless.
Yeah.
Why are we even here? God!
Nick, look at your hands. They're fading away.
Going back to the future.
Hurry, Doc. Then like
It's a
those losing-
podcast, Marty.
Great Scott! But it was losing a letter.
Yeah.
So Tumblr, Flickr.
Flickr.
There must be more.
I found one here called Zobni.
Well,
Right.
Where do we start with
Starts with
that?
an X. X-O-B-N-I.
I mean,
okay.
I'd say that they've actually got too many letters there.
Well, I was going to say you've
Should have none.
beaten me to it because I figured this was going to be like the final form.
That wasn't
Oh.
your hate, was it? Zobni.
No.
No.
Literally,
Zobni is your
it's going to be. This is the evolution because you go from like losing letters to adding Zegs to whatever, and then you get to you just pick a word.
Yeah.
Ploob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ploob.co.uk.
That's genius.
Skormsk. Like
Grispin.
yeah.
It's really good for your SEO though.
Flange.
Like if
Yeah.
if somebody can
Mitsk.
somebody can type that into Google, it's the only possible thing they could be searching for.
Lensk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the chances of them remembering how to spell it because it's such a stupid
Yeah.
spelling.
Keep it short.
It's like we use an app.
Yeah,
I use an
like-
app.
There's one here called Anal Tech.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's meant to be
Analtech.
it's meant to be a combination of analysis and technology, but
But that's Arrested
No.
Development, isn't it?
Yeah.
That can't be true.
it's apparently here it's a Delaware-based company that manufactures thin layer chromatography plates.
No, that can't be.
I mean,
No.
yeah, those are a
No,
thing, but
maybe though.
yeah.
What's that kind of Arrested
Dog pile?
Development? When
Does it say
to buy
after
it?
that to put up your bum?
Yeah, that's what.
We use a social media monitoring piece of software at work, which was, when we paid for it, called Social Sign-In. Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Overnight, changed to Orlo.
What?
ORLO.
Yeah, it's called Orlo.
Orlo. All over now.
What does that mean?
I think Lucy hit. It's just SEO.
Yeah,
I
you
guess-
you've got to make up a noise that no one has ever said before, and means that if someone's googling you, they can't possibly be googling anything else, and that's it.
Interesting.
I see.
That makes sense.
It does make
makes
sense.
a lot of
It's very
sense.
sensible. But at the same time, I hate it.
Okay. Okay, well,
And I
that's
will
fair.
never engage with any company that is missing a letter from their name.
So you don't
With
have a
the
Tumblr?
With the no, I do not have a Tumblr.
Do
With the
not.
exemption of like American spellings, I can forgive. Like colour, stuff like that.
I know. I see that annoys me
Color.
more because it's like that's
Well,
not the
I-
sound
What
that
colour?
makes.
But I learnt about why that happened, and now I don't mind.
Yeah, I just think that they gave up too quickly. Like they just didn't want to learn to spell.
No, so
Oh,
it came,
that's why Lucy isn't on the podcast. It's for racism.
it came about through printing newspapers.
Yeah.
And they would charge adverts by the letter, because of course you had to
Oh,
load
there's
the
egg on
letter.
my face now, isn't there?
Yeah,
Just saying
Mr.
I work for a
Graphic
graphic
Designer.
design company.
They would load the letters on the printing presses one by one, and so the more letters you want, the more effort it takes. So they would start chopping out letters to save money.
They didn't do it on very many words.
No, beautiful. I feel could have been.
Yeah.
Massively
Yeah.
reined
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
BYUT.
America
Boot.
could have just
Oh.
been Britain
But-
too.
Yeah, but USA, 3 letters.
It does kind of make sense if you think of the accent. Like I feel like
Colour.
color is a good one because I feel like if I say color, there's
say
there's a diphthong in
red.
that second vowel.
Almost like
the
you're
second-
saying
like,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is a different sound to color, which is
Yeah.
more how you'd say it if you were American.
So-
like
so-
And
color.
mom as well, like mom.
Mom.
Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Hello.
What define a diphthong?
two vowel sounds blended together.
Oh, to make a new sound?
Well, to make just like a sound that is both of those vowels.
So
at
like
the same time.
beautiful, like
Yeah.
the
Beau-
you.
That's 3.
Beau.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh
trip.
my
A
god!
trip thing.
I guess yeah, triphthong.
Dong.
Wow.
That's the name of
That's
my
so
new internet
educational for our
company.
listeners.
Tripthong.
How's it
Value for
spelled?
money.
But no, I
Three
get.
letters.
I must get annoyed. I must get annoyed with American spelling because
TPG.
Word keeps switching to American like spellings.
Oh.
And it's
Microsoft
it annoys
Word, yeah.
me.
Do you not get
immensely.
Clippy?
Clippy helps out.
Clippy?
I see you're trying to write
I think
British.
Clippy's dead.
Yeah.
I think you mean American.
Clippy died like 10, 11 years ago.
He was assassinated by
Clippy
yourself.
can't be killed. Clippy was born when the internet was young.
I see you're trying to throw me into the trash.
I've got your recycle bin. Oh, what's in there? Oh no.
Oh.
Be a shame if that got uploaded.
To your Tumblr.
No,
I don't
they'd
have a
they'd
Tumblr.
lap,
You do now.
Oh,
they'd
Clippy,
lap
no.
it up. They'd
Really
lap
big
it
in
up on Tumblr.
the really big in the Doctor Who community.
Clippy, you monster.
Oh, I love Clippy.
Do you? What
No.
about the other? Do you remember the other mascots? What are they called?
There was the little dog.
There was a
and
little
You
dog.
could get an Einstein.
Oh, yeah, there was I remember the Einstein.
There was a little
Yeah.
cat and a dog.
Wasn't there a light bulb? You nearly
Maybe.
agreed with me then.
No, I feel like Clippy had a light bulb that came up above his head.
Oh.
I'm gonna Google this
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
This is
What?
But I remember hearing that when they released Word, like whatever it was, 2000 or something, and it finally removed the sort of help characters. Apparently, they kept getting calls from like people who were utterly bereft that like their dog had gone.
Oh, that's so sad. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
The lack of compassion. It's amazing.
It's their only friend. My dog.
He used to like wander around the screen and do stuff even when you weren't.
Oh yeah,
like,
there's
you-
the dog.
Take a shit on your CV.
Oh, look at him. It was basically like a distraction tool more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like if I don't want to work, I'll just click on him and make him do something.
It looks like you're writing a letter. Would you like help?
So how did it work? I can't even remember. He would pop up, wouldn't
Yeah.
he? Just
When
like,
you started writing a letter,
Like a certain format. It's like, I see you're writing a letter. Do you want help with that? And
oh my
then
God,
everyone
he
will be
was
like,
designed. He was designed on a Mac,
No.
and then he went across to Microsoft.
That's so ironic.
It's weird.
oh, what a floozy.
I want to find
Oh,
the others.
Clippy.
All I can find is Clippy. Just Clippy everywhere. No, I can't find the others. Is
Everyone.
Clippy coming back? Someone
Clippy has
asked. No, Clippy's
deleted
dead.
the memories and the files of all the other
He consumed them to gain strength.
Yeah. He's a colossal AI at the centre of the internet now.
Cliffy's now just called CLP.
.exe.
Well, he wouldn't have he hangs in a
I
vowel,
clip.
so he wouldn't have
No, it would be CLIP and then lowercase I.
Yeah.
Clippy.
Clippy. Question mark?
Clip eye. The eye
Eye
clip.
clip.
The eye
He's
clip.
going to be the singularity.
It all
He's
starts
the
with
one.
Clippy.
Yeah.
It all begins with Clippy. It's like, in Terminator, they're always trying to go back to like stop the rise of Skynet. Like, this is what they need to do. They
Yeah,
need to kill
stop
Clippy
Clippy.
now. Stop Clippy.
Yeah.
What year are we in? 2019. Do it now before he gets too strong.
Of course, the original Clippy is really just like on a floppy disk. Like he's not that
Yeah.
big.
Apparently, I was just reading just then that a community on GitHub actually created a plugin for Microsoft Word to get him back. So you can download this and install it into your Word, and then you get a Clippy
And when
back.
you do, he's like,
Where have I been?
where am I?
I was in darkness. I was happy.
I don't know what any of these buttons do.
Yeah. Yeah. What is a touch screen? What is a smart phone?
What is 1 gigabyte? Oh my god.
Well, you bring him back, but he's really like senile.
Oh my god.
It's like, hey, Clippy, I need to insert a PNG. A what? Oh god! Can you get that for me? He's like, okay. I think I like waddles off the screen.
Comes back with
Brings
like,
back a GIF.
back with
Is this
YouTube.
what you want?
Is this the one you want?
No.
How about some clip art?
Is it called that because he did it? Clippy.
He owns more than we think.
Yeah, he's intelligent and creative.
Yeah, Clippy, I want to run a little macro. Why don't I change into an atom? Oh, watch me spin.
I'll turn into Einstein. Maybe that'll help. It won't help, Clippy. You're an idiot.
Clippy, open Spotify. No.
Clippy, can I export this as an Android app?
He starts screaming dial tone. Oh god, it's delightful. I miss Clippy.
Now I do. Yeah. Maybe we could get him as like a sort of, like your Siris and your Cortanas. You could have that on my phone. It's like, hey, Clippy. Nothing happened. Disappointed. Clippy, fuck you.
Got hate?
I've got hate.
Got hate?
Yeah.
Mm.
I hate catchphrase.
No.
What the fuck is up with that show?
How can you hate
Roy
catchphrase?
Walker.
I don't hate
and Mr.
Roy
Chip.
Walker. I hate Mr. Chip.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Why?
Mr. Chip is creepy.
He's... What is he?
He's a robot.
He's a
He's a
bin.
robot.
He's
He's
a
a
bin with a
catchphrase robot.
neckerchief. He's a bin with a neckerchief
Is
made
that a
of gold.
bad thing?
Someone painted a bin gold
Yeah.
and put a neckerchief on
Yeah.
it and then drew it really
And
badly
gave
in
it
paint.
the gift of life.
Clippy's more alive than Mr. Chips.
I'd say they're on a par.
Okay, but he's dead.
Who
now.
is?
Mr. Chips. No one's trying to bring Mr. Chips back.
He's
Is
never
a catchphrase
went.
still being made?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
like-
is it?
Yeah, I
Probably.
mean,
Not with Mr. Chips, though. Oh, he'll be CGI
I
now.
bet Challenge is still making catchphrase.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it won't be the original Mr. Chip. It would be like either his reanimated corpse, or you know how like
Oh,
they
that's much
made
better.
a like Tupac Shakur, like a
Hologram.
hologram.
He's a
Yeah, he's a hologram now. They like scanned him in all different directions, and now they can make
They
Mr. Chip
scanned
do or say anything.
Listen to what you're saying. You scanned him in different directions. He was like the definition of a one-dimensional character. There was maybe 7 pixels that made up Mr. Chips. What he was. Is it Mr. Chip or Mr. Chip?
Mr. Chip,
Mr. Chip.
Mr. Chip.
singular.
And is he called Chip because he's like a robot?
I
Was
actually
he a
don't know
robot?
why
I
he's
was a
called
baby.
I'm
Chip.
struggling to
I
picture
mean,
it
why
now.
are you
I've gotta
called
be
John? Why am I called Alice? You know, it's just a
Because
name.
our parents named us that. Named Mr. Chip.
Roy Walker.
And if Roy,
Roy Walker is his dad.
if Roy Walker was the dad, what unholy beast birthed Mr. Chip onto our screens?
I loved catchphrase.
Mrs. Chip.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a robot.
He is indeed CGI now. I've just.
Yeah. So, like, what's
What
your
offends
main,
you about
yeah.
catchphrase?
So,
Can't be Roy Walker, surely.
It's
He's a
not Roy
national
Walker.
treasure.
if
Although
anything,
he's Irish, so
he is just about the only thing in that show that he's sort of like the show's self-awareness. Because the people on it just say the garbage that comes out of their heads, right? Because they're so desperate to try and say a catchphrase that they say anything, like, oh, boatman, horse. And it's like, that's not a phrase, is it? And so Roy Walker has this like default like toolbox
It's
of
good,
things like,
but
it's
it's
good, but
not
it's not the
right.
one, because it's not good, is it?
Okay, okay, because there must be people listening who have no idea what we're talking about.
Okay.
Break it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
What's-
Okay, so Catchphrase is a game show that started, what, in the 80s?
Early 90s, I
Must have
would
been,
guess.
yeah. Like the original. I'm just imagining the original set in my head, and it's very
It's
much late
very,
80s, early
very
90s.
like neon
Yeah.
lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and just
Dark mode.
because
Yes.
we've talked on previous episodes about the logic of take a thing that exists in the real world
Yeah.
and turn it into a shitty game show.
This is where Tiddlywinks
So we
came
talked
from.
about Tiddlywinks,
Which is amazing.
Big Break,
Yeah.
Bullseye.
Yes.
Catchphrase never existed in the real world. No one has played a pen and paper version of
Well, no,
catchphrase.
it's like Wingdings. Everyone's staring at me like
I
I'm
mean,
a
I
crazy
guess
person.
kind of.
Ding-
Not a
No,
font.
Dingbats?
sorry,
Yeah.
Dingbats. Sorry,
Dingbats.
yeah, Dingbats. The thing that the word Wingdings
Yeah,
came from.
but it's not exciting. It's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
oh, I've got the Sunday supplement, and it's like there's a grid covered in stickers, and you peel them off and go, oh,
Scratch it off.
Might be two in the hand is worth one in the bush, you know.
Oh no, that's
And then
a
you
horse.
go, am I right? I mean, you have to peel all of them off and go, oh no, I wasn't. Oh
Oh,
shit.
I can't do it now.
So just in case someone hasn't seen Catchphrase, the way it works is there's like a massive TV screen, isn't there,
Yes.
in the set.
And there's
two players.
And there's an image which is
Divided
an
into
animated
9.
image which is obscured by a grid of blocks.
Yeah.
And as they
Answer a question.
So-
You sort
Yeah.
of yeah.
pick a block,
You pick a block at random. It's like do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and then you press your buzzer,
And then
then it
you'll get-
reveals that square at random, and then you get a chance.
Wait, so you don't
to-
even have to answer
No, you
questions?
have to answer
You will
for
then
the
get-
chance to hit the button, I think.
well, no, because you get mini catchphrases, don't you? So basically, you pick one of the grid on the grid, and then you'll get an image, animated image that fills the screen.
Yeah.
And it'll be something like a character holding a bird, and then there'll be a bush to the side. And before the bush can be animated to reveal two birds, or one bird coming out of that, someone will buzz in and go.
And whose hand is it in? Mr. Chip's hand.
It'll be
normally.
Mr. Chip normally, yeah. And it will be like a bird in a hand is worth two in the bush. And
Or it'll be Chip holds bird.
Mr. Chipbird man horse. It's always a horse. And then if they get it right, then that tile is revealed on the bigger catchphrase image.
That's true. They're playing for the chance to reveal.
Ah, of course.
And
tiles,
gradually,
yeah.
as more because when you've revealed one tile, you can hardly see any of the image, so you can't see anything. And then gradually, 2 or 3 or 4 have been answered. And now you can see more of the image behind, and you might get a sense of what
Yeah.
that catchphrase is.
And that
if
gives
can
you a
answer
big
that,
cash
then that's a
bonus.
huge cash splurge. And then eventually, the person with the most cash wins, and then they get to do a quick fire sort of catchphrasey round. In a
At the
chance
end.
Where you have to
win
try and make a
a
line
holiday.
across a grid, don't
That's
you?
right,
I remember
yeah.
that, yeah.
That's back when the prizes were actually really good as well. They would come away with no, seriously, they would come away with like 10 grand and like a 2-week like full
I seem to
holiday.
In
remember-
Cornwall.
No, to
I
Barbados.
seem to
or
remember the
something.
holidays were really good, but the money wasn't. Like in the 90s one, when I remember, like, it'd be like, you got this holiday to Barbados for 2 weeks and you've got 50 quid spending money.
Yes, but back in the late 80s, that went a very long way. Buy a house with us.
I watched one the other day.
I
Like
know, that's
a
why-
vintage
Oh, here we
one.
go.
That's
right,
why.
yeah.
And I swear they had like at least 5 grand.
You
and
could get a
holiday.
lot from the final, like, you
Yeah,
always had to
yeah.
try and go through the middle, because that would get you the big
Yeah,
prize.
they'd always
Yeah.
start there, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
But yeah, no, I loved
I would go on
catchphrase.
catchphrase.
Yeah, I loved catch, and I was actually really good at it as a kid. Bizarrely, I don't know why or where this came from, or maybe they specifically picked idiots to be on the show, so
They may
that
have.
so that like a 10-year-old kid could feel like they were better than them.
I feel I'm kind of with Nick on this because I
Yes.
feel it's an idea that had enough legitimately good content to make one, let's be generous and call it an hour-long special. It did not deserve
I
to
think
be
that's
like
true.
8 seasons.
Because there are only so many catchphrases.
yeah, there are not that many.
And after a while, it's words.
Yeah, it's the
You know?
thing that often it wasn't actually a catchphrase.
No.
Like it wasn't a
Catchword.
It wasn't an idiom in the English
Yeah.
language.
I'm pretty sure I saw one, and it was just the Titanic. That's not a phrase, is it?
Well, how else would you describe the big boat that sank?
What its name? Yeah, I guess you got me there.
Was there
Name. It should be called, not catchphrase.
Was there ever like a scenario in which they cleared all the squares?
And they still didn't know
and
what
they
it was.
just got no
Oh,
idea
yeah,
what
yeah,
the hell
that
it
happens
is.
a lot.
Yeah.
I seem to
And I'll tell you
remember.
why
Yeah.
that happened. It's because the artwork is so
Oh yeah,
bad.
the artwork was like I could
I
draw
think
it
it
in
was being
MS
drawn
Paint.
live. Like,
Yeah,
backstage.
I think you're right. I think it was being drawn
And it
live.
wasn't a TV, it was actually like a massive like canvas.
Etch-a-sketch.
Yeah, it was like a sheet of glass.
Etch-a-sketch this guy.
He's just being whipped. We need a catchphrase now. The Titanic.
Ching
Okay.
is-
I get that the
Doing
screen
it.
is big, but why are the controls massive? Don't
Stop
why.
Rather than whipping me, why don't you help?
You take the left knob, I'll take that. That'll make it worse.
It's like, but you're right. It's like when you're at home and maybe you're screaming at the TV, going like, "A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush," and they're going like, calling your mom about a bird,
Bush hand.
bush hand,
Bush.
trading birds. No, it's not a thing.
The thing is, I completely accept and agree with all of your points.
But
and
I
yet
love it.
These are reasons
Yeah.
why I love it.
I mean, I take Lucy because you just like a lot of TV garbage.
Oh
so,
yeah, I mean, the last time I was on this show, my love was terrible
garbage.
1960s garbage.
Yeah,
You are like our canary down the mine of shit, basically.
yeah, if Lucy comes back out of the mine, it's like, that was actually pretty good. We're like, okay, not going down there.
Oh, it's not like I have no taste. I know it's bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it because it's bad.
No. I'm definitely not saying you have no taste. I'm just saying that your taste is a way for us to avoid things.
There's a redeeming. Is there a redeeming feature to catchphrase?
There's
Nick?
Roy Walker.
In that, there was a famous moment which I think is available on YouTube.
Oh, brilliant.
Where
Is this when the new presenter comes
Fell
on?
down the stairs.
no,
Oh,
is there a
yeah,
new
that-
presenter?
On his very
Oh,
first,
yeah.
on his debut, he's
Post
called like
Roy
Nick
Walker.
something, and he
they
starts at the
repainted-
back of the audience, and as they're like, and now catchphrase with your new host, Nick, blah blah blah,
Nick Phrase.
and he's at the back of the audience, he's like, hey, and as he's running down the steps, he trips and breaks his ankle.
And it's on, you can see it on YouTube. Oh, see him
And
fall.
he spends the rest of the series in a cast.
And he's like, welcome to crutch phrase.
Which is actually very funny.
But I remember at that point they redecorated the set to be like pastel.
hospital?
Yeah, no. To be like pastel purple, like really virulent pastel purple.
It's very soothing if you're going through trauma.
On the ankles.
Well, they do say purple is the colour of death, so...
Well, maybe that was the
If you're ever watching a movie, and there's someone's wearing purple, then
They're gonna die.
gonna die, or someone will die. Like for example, in Breaking Bad, in episode 1. Sorry, spoilers.
Oh God, episode 1 spoilers.
When he's being told that he's got cancer and it's terminal, the doctor's wearing a purple tie.
Honest to goodness,
But
if I was on catchphrase and Roy Walker had a gun to my head and I had to find the phrase "purple is the colour of death,"
He would kill you.
I'd bite down on the gun and I'd do it, Roy. Free us both.
What were you going to say then for this famous moment?
There's a classic moment. I think it's available on YouTube where they're clearing the squares, and or you can see Mr. Chips at one side of a screen making like this thrusting motion.
Oh no.
And then like they clear another square at the other side of the screen, and there's another like person kind of,
Yeah,
like rocking.
well, there
as
were
well.
multiple chips as well. Like sometimes there'd be clones of Mr. Chip in the same animation.
But Roy Walker is losing his shit like he can't handle it.
See, that's the wonder of catchphrase. There's always the chance of an unintentioned innuendo.
Absolutely.
In his end.
One sex scene featuring Mr. Chips in a series which is probably still getting made
Yeah.
30 years later is not the diamond in the rough. That does not warrant its existence.
That's just the one thing that we can hold on to in this like drowning tide of death.
I feel like Mr. Chip and Mr. Blobby might be related.
Oh yeah. I can see the family
God.
resemblance there.
They could be like cousins or
Yeah.
something.
Mm.
I feel like I'm going to wake up tonight. I'm going to like go to bed and I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be in an empty, abandoned like catchphrase studio. And I'm like, oh no, what's happening? And I hear that noise. I'm like, oh, it's everywhere. And
Like
it's going.
echoing around you. It's good, but it's not right.
It's good, but it's not the one. One. It's good, but it's not the one.
When will it be the one, right?
And I look up and it's like on the screen it's my bedroom and I'm like there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Like
It's good,
no,
John, but it's
that's
not
not
the
what I'm
one.
looking for. Catchphrase. God bless.
Yeah.
Hot garbage.
Oh,
I've got a hate.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
My hate. Well, okay. I'm just gonna say there's a TV show. It's on Netflix. It's called Ugly Delicious. And I think I hate it and everything it embodies.
Okay, tell us all about it.
I haven't heard of this.
No,
I watched
I-
part of a single episode and I repressed it because John had to remind me of it the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we did watch that."
Oh my
I
God,
would-
you forced it
I
away.
would guess. I'm going to guess that it's a baking show
No.
where people make really bad cakes, but they're really tasty.
Oh yeah, I
No,
wanna
but
guess
see,
now.
that show is amazing.
Oh, what? I nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love nailed
My
it.
guess is it's a competitive makeup show, but they have to use makeup that is edible. So and then you lick it off people's faces. Is
That also sounds much
Bearing in
better.
mind that you work for a design agency,
Yeah, I've never mentioned.
can
it
you,
before.
in the meeting with your clients, they're like, we want to sell our beauty products. Would you ever bring up the word ugly? Do you think that's like?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's thinking outside the box. I like
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
No one's done it before.
Okay, no. On a previous episode, I think I've complained about cookery shows, which are about like the healing power of food, where it's like that moment in MasterChef where the sad music sting plays, and they're like, "How you doing, Jeff?" He goes, "Oh, not bad. You know, I think I've got the beef Wellington going." You go, but how are you really doing, Jeff? Oh, it's just been a really rough year. You know, and it cuts to him and goes, in the studio, talking head, it's been a really rough year. You know, like
It
that.
cuts back. It was rough.
It's pretty rough, yeah. And
They pan down and he's bleeding. Like, my wife shot me last month and
Haven't had a chance.
haven't been able to move
just
on.
let me get to a hospital.
I hate cooking.
Finish your beef Wellington, for God's sake.
Okay, man. But that annoys me. Then I'm like, okay, food is becoming this life-changing event on TV, and I can't stop
I mean,
it.
just look at the Tesco's, you know, Pamela's Parmesan.
You're taking
Piss
us on
take or
a
Memory lane.
Yeah, the greatest hits tour of a show called Hey.
Yeah.
But Ugly Delicious is something else because it's gone past. It's like, what if we had a cookery show where we talk about the life-changing power of food, but we never cook anything?
What?
So Ugly Delicious is perhaps the most aggressively cool show
Oh no.
I've ever seen, where it's like it's 4 guys and they travel the world kind of exploring food and cuisine and culture, but they get to the heart of culture and they talk about and food, and they talk about what it really means, man. And spoilers, it's family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wherever you go,
Like Fast and the Furious.
wherever
like,
you go,
like when you eat your family.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Wherever you go, it's fucking family. Sometimes a fish finger is just a fish finger, you know. And like, it's
Oh,
about
it's the
family.
finger of my dad,
And it's like,
who is a fish.
and the format of this show is that in the one episode I remember seeing is there's 4 guys in a cab, like driving around Italy, or was it Italy? No, it was South America. We're driving around Mexico all night. They're like, we're not sleeping. We're guerrilla. We're like edgy. We're street filming, and like
Oh god.
they, with a local guide touring them, they're like they're railing against how crappy high cuisine has become and like big restaurants, and they are about street food, and they're like, it doesn't have to be pretty.
Oh, I see.
It just has to be
I
delicious.
see.
So they'll go to like
Oh,
a street
no.
vendor who's serving at like 2 a.m. and they'll get like a burrito and they'll eat
It's
it.
just a ball of meat.
A meatball.
Yeah.
Like that is actually a thing.
But then
I was thinking one the size of like a human head.
Oh, we didn't say that.
Like
did
a
we?
yeah.
Just said a meatball.
It's got ketchup on it, and it's still beating.
and they're like, honest Dave here is the heart and soul of Mexican cuisine. He spits in the hob, you know? and they're eating it, and they do that weird thing where they're eating food and they're all standing, but none of them are looking at each other. Like they're all just it's like an album cover. Like they're all pointing in different directions. They're all just going like, this is where it's at, man. This is real food.
This is making me really angry.
and
already.
the camera keeps cutting and we're like, this is real
Oh
food.
yeah, their cameraman is definitely drunk,
yeah.
or at least used to work for Jamie Oliver. Like,
Oh no.
And then as like the B plot, which they'd cut back and forth to, they had a different guy who I think, he may have been British, I'm not even sure, but he'd gone to Norway to hang out. No, was it Denmark? He'd gone to like somewhere in the Nordic cuisine to go to like a really fancy restaurant, and then one of their chefs was about to.
it was Noma, wasn't it?
Noma.
It was Noma setting up a second.
Yeah.
Noma.
So
Noma is an extremely famous Copenhagen-based restaurant.
Super fancy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super fancy.
So
Right.
so they were going from like Denmark down to like South America to get to like the root of like South American cuisine, and then it's like they were in like the Noma experimental restaurant, and they were like, okay, people, like we're not about tasting, we're not about coming up with ideas. This is just about feeling and just about like testing the ingredients. And they had a big table of ingredients, and then like they're like, feel these beans,
Oh no.
feel the beans, and they had this guy.
Feel my beans.
And he was one of the co-presenters, and he was there on like a solo mission, and he was just driving me mad because he was like spiky hair, glasses, like a really like baggy shirt, like so not a presenter
Right.
that it was almost it was intentional.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, we found someone who's not usually in front of a camera. It was like, we found someone who's aggressively trying to not be the kind of person who's in front of a camera. And he was like, obviously, you know, he has so deadpan, like no joy. He just like, you do that thing where he'd eat something and go, yeah, no, this is it. This is the real stuff. Yeah, no, it's really good. And then they go to South America and they find like all these like smiling locals who are like, come into our, we live in the jungle because we're poor, simple peasants, but we love food and we care about family. Come grind beans with us. We're dirt poor, but we've got soul, you know.
Come eat some bark off this tree with us.
And there's this guy just like eating like, you know, this local food. He goes, yeah, it's really dirty, but it's real. This is real food. This is what it's all about. And I'm like, oh my god, sometimes food is just food.
Yeah.
You know, like
You have to put fuel in the body for it to keep running.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I just eat a sandwich so I don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ask the poor sod who's like has to work 12 hours a day to farm these beings, and we're going, oh yeah, these people, they're really down to earth, like they get it, they understand. No, they're living in a bad economy, and it's like they're just trying to feed their families.
Yeah.
It's
Like
not
these are
magical.
probably exactly the same people who made like quinoa so fashionable that it like made a whole South American culture starve. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's like suddenly they had to sell all their quinoa rather than keep it because nobody else wanted it, so they just used it as their staple grain. You know.
I think what pisses me off about what you're describing here is that they are attempting to rail against pretension and have ended up so pretentious.
Astonishingly pretentious. Like it, yeah. And I'm like, just teach me how to cook a burrito, please.
Yeah,
I'm wasting away here.
This is why we get all of our cookery shows off just YouTube now. Like, because on YouTube, people actually teach you how to cook a thing.
I think
It's
the
amazing.
instant someone says this is real something or this is a real something, those are the people to ignore. Because I think the people who actually make stuff that's good and enjoyable, not just food, but anything, don't say that.
Yeah.
They don't
Like,
say
just
this
because-
is real something.
Yeah, you're not disparaging other things.
Exactly.
You know, that's
Yeah.
real, this is real, it's all real.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get home and you've had a really long shitty day and you just want to throw like a microwave lasagna
Or just
in the
eat
oven.
a slice of bastard
Out
cheese.
the window. A really shit day. Just want to throw
a chicken tikka through the fucking double glazing and just start again.
Watch out, Sharon. There's a frozen mac and cheese coming your way.
Duck, Sharon! It's not duck, it's mac and cheese.
Oh, it just drives me mad. And I think there's something also about like, I don't know if
I'm going to watch this.
I don't know if cool is the word. I don't know if edgy is the word, but there's something about the filmmaking in the show which infuriated me. It's that kind of thing where like they'd walk into a venue, like every venue would begin with them walking in and like instantly greeting the chef and going, "Hey, bro," you know, and like,
But let me guess, that chef is already mic'd up.
yeah.
And the camera shot is from like behind the chef.
Yeah,
So
so-
the
They're in
camera's
the
already
kitchen.
walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That always annoys me about like property programs as well. It's like, let's go see the house that's just sold at auction, and the presenter walks up and knocks on the door, and then you get the reverse shot of someone answering the door from inside the house. It's like,
Hang on.
so the camera crew's already there. For God's sake. Sorry.
No, you're completely wrong. So basically, they're just picking houses that just happen to have camera crews living there.
Yeah, they're people too. They need to.
Yeah, Jesus.
They need to
There's
live.
not a real camera crew, Alice.
I wondered who that guy was in the kitchen the other day.
Yeah, we've got one. We've got one of them. It's a pet.
He's here right now. Barry.
Hey.
He's
Mr.
he's a
Chip.
professional.
I'm glad you said his name. I can't remember.
He's here
it.
right now. They're not really people.
No, exactly.
No, cameramen, yeah. But no. Yeah. So I don't know if a film.
I'm going to watch it.
If
now.
this guy ever, I would need coaching basically, like because that unrehearsed, perfectly scripted moment
What?
where hey bro, you know, and they like do like
Yeah, because
know.
you all know exactly what fucking handshake to do.
And I'd be if that happened to me, like if I was at home, like you know, like I
and then
don't
he
know,
walked into your kitchen.
you know, I'm trying to fold an omelette, like, and he comes in and goes, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Hi."
Hey man, I get it.
And I
Most
try-
of that omelette's on the floor. I get it.
And I tried to shake his hand, but I'd have like grease all over it. I was like, "Oh no!"
It's just covered in salsa. Why?
I was like screaming, like, "Cut! Cut!
Please, God, cut!
Another take, please!" Still in the final.
He's just stood there, just like, this is real food. This
Yeah,
is
it's
real
that
editing.
grease from your hand that makes it real. Like, this is a real bowl of shreddies.
That's a special.
I'm eating an entire pack of those amazing Polish sweets, and sometimes I'm so furious to get to the next one that I don't unwrap it. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
you got it.
it's like, "Hey, bro."
Is that real food?
This is real food, and we don't look at each other while we're talking.
You're just choking to death in the corner, out of focus in the shot.
But it is that elitism where it's like, it's exclusivity, isn't it? It's like, you think you know food.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to tell you what's real.
It's gatekeeping.
And what's not. It
Yeah.
is gatekeeping.
Yeah.
And it just makes everyone else feel like idiots or angry because they're the ones that have the right to tell you what's real
Apparently,
and what's
just because
not.
they got spiky hair.
Yeah, and a shaky cameraman.
Yeah.
And it's like, it felt a bit like that kind of what's that, like charity tourism kind of thing, where it was like we're
yeah.
deliberately being rough and ready because we're down with the real people,
Yeah.
the real poor people
Yeah.
who eat shit. But,
I can't think of the word, but there's something porn going on.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
it's like poverty porn.
poverty-
or
yeah,
something
it's
like
something,
that.
yeah.
It's-
Unfortunately, I think it might be that.
Yeah.
It's glorifying what is actually hard for someone else, like, and turning it into
You get
something
to
it
leave
isn't.
it.
Yeah,
You
get to go
exactly.
home.
You get to walk
Yeah.
away, and they don't.
You get to travel the world and try all this different real cuisine when all they have
and
is
for them, it's like
lentils.
that's what that's all they have access to. So that's
Yeah.
what they're eating.
you get to board your plane home and eat nothing but Kinder Surprise for 8 hours if that's what you want.
Oh my
you know?
god, what airline do they fly with?
I melt them all down into a bowl, including the toys, and I eat that and the foil.
Oh no.
Mix it all up.
Bleedy.
Tastes like
That's
tiny
real food.
terrapin.
Well-
that's real food.
I was going to say, if we think we've taken the hates as far as we can,
I think so.
I feel exorcised of hate.
Yeah.
We have wrung the comedy out of those.
well, we have. I'm only going to read one
Community hate.
community hate this week because it's from a new listener, a devotee, and I feel we have to reward this sort of behaviour. So he's getting the spotlight today.
Oh, okay,
This is
well,
from
We don't value loyalty or return customers.
We value
No,
emails.
no.
Yeah, screw them.
No, I think
I think
One of
reason-
those companies that only offer the like sales to the
Yeah.
new customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get the free toaster.
Yeah.
This has come by email, right?
this has come by email.
So it's actually hate mail.
It's hate mail.
It's actual
It
hate
is.
mail.
This is amazing.
No, it's
hate
Hutmul.
mail.
Oh, Hutmul, yes.
Hutmul.
HTML.
Ah.
Damn it, that's really good. It's really good, Nick. Bring that to the next
Hate that you
client
thought of that.
meeting.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it to the shareholders.
Well, this is from
That's me.
an enterprising young gentleman called Louis,
Louis.
who writes to the show, I hate the exact same eternal jokes everyone has to deal with while working.
Okay.
For example, you're in a workplace and you have trouble scanning that barcode.
Mm.
Must be free, LOL.
Oh,
What do you expect the cashier to respond with? I'm convinced that every career has a version of this joke.
Yeah.
No one finds it funny. Oh my God, please stop.
Yes, I can attest to this. In fact, it was only a few days ago that
So
I
can
turned
I.
to my colleague because I had had enough and said to them, how do you respond to this particular thing? Because I've had it about 5 days in a row and I can't take it anymore. And I was filming someone, well, I've been filming a few people recently, and all of them turn to me and go, oh, might break the lens.
Do you know how expensive these lenses are? If, like, do I need to? Maybe you need to start offering a lens insurance program
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
charge them an extra $5,000 on top of that.
That's such a good point. I'll whip out a form and be like, give me 10 quid.
No.
And that will cover you if you do break the lens with your stupid face.
and your stupid comments.
No, I mean, for them, it's a funny joke and they've never said it before, and fair enough. But when I hear it every time I get the camera out, it's really hard to put on a smile and go, ha, ha, ha,
Yeah.
just let me film you. Yeah, so I can completely.
I
get behind
feel grateful that I am now in a career where I don't have to talk to the general public too much, which is brilliant. But in the past, I have done a lot of kind of till work, and you do get the whole doesn't have a price on it, must be free all the bloody time.
Yeah.
And it's just it's not like I want to be here. It's not like this is joyful for me in any way.
that. You don't
No.
get paid extra for funny quips.
No. And I don't get paid extra to smile at you either, so I'm just going to
It's quite so
stare
often
until you go
prefaced as
away.
well, like, bet you hear this all the time. It's like, well, if you know that,
Yeah.
why
Don't say it.
Why are you doing this to me?
So what's yours?
Mine is, this has happened probably 3 times, I think, where I've been talking to a client and we've done some work for them. And then I've said, essentially, like, trying to do some more work on it. So like, I really believe that, we need to perfect this. We need to get this looking right for you, kind of thing. Trying to come from an angle of being an expert and suggesting that, we're not quite there yet. And then they'll go, oh, I suppose, well, if you're really passionate about it, then you'll do it for free. Like because I'm suggesting that the reason I want to improve their work is not because of business, but because I think that it could look better and that I care about the work I do. And sometimes I have said that, which is the mistake I've made in the conversation. Like, I'm really coming from an angle here of, because I don't want to come across as just trying to bleed money out of them. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not. I genuinely got into this business because I want to do the best work for these people I possibly can. And then they go, well, if you're so passionate about it, why don't you do it free?
But they should be passionate about it.
Why
Because
don't
it's
you
their
care?
company.
This is what your brand looks like. Why don't you care about it? It's not up to me whether I care. And you've hired me because I have some sort of passion and belief and care in
Yeah.
what I'm doing, and that's what makes the work better.
Yeah,
and
would they
yet-
prefer that you just don't give a shit?
Apparently.
Great.
Apparently.
Wow. Makes your life easier.
Why don't you do it for free?
Oh my God, John. I don't know. I guess I'm the asshole.
Do you have any?
I'm trying to
Like-
think. I don't know if it says more about the line of work I'm in, but people don't tend to make jokes. They don't.
Oh,
They don't
no.
tend to have the energy.
Too
for it,
downtrodden.
I feel. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like one thing. It's not really like if I ever tell somebody we make comics, for example.
Yeah.
I always get immediately people go, "Oh, comics or graphic novels?" And I'm like, don't really mind. Whatever floats your boat, really. Like,
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that graphic novels was a pretentious term that someone came up with to try and legitimize comics. It's like, no, it's something else. Chill out.
I think Jamie Smart. This is not entirely related, but Jamie Smart, who's an artist we're both aware of, he so he posted on Twitter the other day. He said it doesn't matter how many times I tell people in conversation I'm an illustrator, it always immediately leads to a conversation of, oh yes, my aunt does drawing, does a few illustrations on the side. Maybe you've heard of her. It's like
Everyone's
I
a fucking artist.
I once played noughts and crosses. Yeah.
oh yeah, I like to doodle as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So insulting, isn't it?
I don't feel that that's kind of the. I think it's the jokiness that's particularly offensive. It's the idea that I should find this entertaining in
Yeah.
some way.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I said, I'm grateful that because I don't talk to people all that much in my job anymore, it's not such a big deal. And the people I do talk to, I see every single day, so we all know that the jokes are all the same.
We used to, when I worked at Woolworths Cafe, we used to serve 2 sizes of breakfast, the 5-item breakfast or the 8-item breakfast. And we used to often get, what's the difference?
You're like,
He's still there.
it's 2.
Still waiting for his answer.
What is
You're
the
like,
difference?
it's 2 items.
Oh.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it.
No, neither do I.
No. Anyway, I think sometimes they asked because they genuinely didn't know. Like, I think sometimes it was like, I don't know what the difference between these 2 things is. But then other times it was very much like, I'll say something that will make him laugh. He'll have never heard this. I had though. I had heard it. And that's why I burnt their tea cakes. I'm pissed on their tea cakes. But they liked them.
Pissy
anyway.
tea cakes.
That's why
It's
they
a
called me
classic.
Pissy Tea Cakes. That was my rap for it.
Who's got a love? And I'm looking at Lucy while I have
'cause
an open,
went-
we have a
open-ended
format.
question. Yeah, format is king.
format and all. I brought visual aids, which cause
For,
when I
to this audio medium.
Yes. Also, I decided my love about 2 seconds before walking into this room, so it's
Cool.
the visual aids I could grab.
Well, luckily we're doing this in your house,
Yes,
so
yeah.
yeah.
So I like shiny rocks.
The prophecy.
Oh!
So I've brought with me a selection of my collection of shiny minerals and rocks and crystals and things.
For the benefit of listeners at home,
Yes.
can you take us on an audio journey?
Shiny rocks.
Yes, so
Shiny
I
rocks,
have
mate.
I have a very large quartz spur.
That very much looks like your sort of classic fantasy crystal.
Yes,
Yeah.
so basically like
We
John.
got your fantasy crystals.
This was actually my wedding present from John.
Oh, very nice.
This giant bit of quartz, and it has little rainbows in it, and I like it very much.
You
That's
should mount
excellent.
it on a ring.
Jesus. For the listener, that's about the size
It is the
of
size
a
of my
Yakult
hand.
bottle. Yakult? No,
That's
wait.
dunno.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I have a chunk of amethyst here that I've
Lucky.
had as long as I can remember.
That's about the size of a shriveled plum.
Yeah. So this is the first rock in my collection, and I can't even remember where I got it from, and it's so old.
I've always really liked amethyst clumps like that because they look like little cities.
Yeah.
Little cities.
Can we please use the scientifically accurate term for
okay.
describing the size and weight of crystals, which is Yakult bottles or any form of yogurt?
How
So-
many Yakult bottles is that?
That's about one on
Yeah,
its
that's
side.
one, I think.
It's
Yeah.
fallen over.
It's almost
Fallen
like
over
it's like
Yakult
almost like a
bottle.
fruit roll-up.
You
which
could
is-
you could call it a Yakultsworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
One Yakultsworth.
Okay.
One Yakultsworth there.
Jacob Yakultsworth, who invented crystals.
Crystal meth.
And then I've also got here.
R.I.P.
This is a chunk of selenite, which is naturally occurring fibre optic.
It's TV stone,
crystal.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has this strange effect of when you put it on top of something that has a pattern, the pattern appears to transfer completely flat to the top of the stone.
That's
Yeah, you
cool.
could do it on that fabric you've got there.
I could.
Probably, couldn't you?
We'll try it out. You can only see it from certain angles, so
And
we'll
you
have
can't
to
see it at home.
No.
Yeah, no.
But I can tell you
everyone,
now,
everyone
it
around the
looks
room
great.
can have a good look at that.
Well, if they get closer to the speaker,
Yeah.
they'll hear it a bit
Lean
better.
in.
That's about 0.3 Yakult.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And then I have some other ones here. Like this is bismuth, so this is elemental bismuth.
Bismuth
which,
looks amazing.
Which is like it looks like an oil spill got stuck halfway through crystallizing.
That
It
looks
also-
like a little
very
city.
cool.
like a
Square
little-
as
yeah, it looks
well.
like a city, or it looks like a glitch in reality.
Yeah.
But like, if you're
But
next to a
that's-
computer and you don't know what
that's-
bismuth is, Google bismuth right now.
Yeah, they
because
look.
it's so
That's
cool.
that's what it does naturally. Like
BSMTH.
if you melted this down and let it cool down slowly, it would try and reform into little squares. It's very cool. And then I've got some greenstone, which is jade from New Zealand, and
How
a
does Jade feel
sphere,
about it?
and a sphere of opalite, which I like because it has like very strange refractive properties.
That
But
is
that's-
like one Yakult's worth, but
Yeah.
like
Condensed into a sphere.
solid
Yeah.
Yakult.
Yeah, it's like
forget
a
the bottle.
like a compressed.
If you
Yeah.
emptied a bottle of Yakult in space,
Yeah.
gradually over the millennia, it would condense into a planetoid about that size.
Yeah, no one's got time
Yeah.
for that.
But anyway, yes, I
That's
have
mean.
I have quite a selection of rocks, and it's I'm always a bit torn about it because a lot of people believe that these rocks have
Healing powers.
magic powers, and I don't like looking like I'm the kind of person who believes that. I'm
You
more
do.
interested in them from a sort of scientific geological point of view,
Plus, they're pretty.
and they're very pretty. So it's like I get to keep little bits of my chemistry history around
Yeah.
what with pretty rocks at the same time.
How many crystals do you have? Could we do some crystal math? Thank you.
Please, Dave.
That's a better reaction than I was expecting.
It wasn't deserved at all.
But yeah, it's a love tinged with the slight hate of. I think people assume if they see this stuff that I believe weird things about them. I believe that they're chunks of silicon with interesting other elements in that give them pretty colours.
Whoa, it was pretty far out there.
Oh, that's a pretty evangelical sort of belief you're trying to enforce on us there. I don't know about this.
And they make me feel happy to look at.
Oh, that's the healing.
Oh my god, endorphins
They
released.
make you happy.
Amethyst is good for headaches, apparently, and I don't have a headache right
If
now.
you cave someone's head
Just
in with
swallow
a
that
piece of
whole-
amethyst, they'll have
Swallow that bit of
I
amethyst.
have a really good head. They'll be
good.
fine.
They'll-
Yeah, they'll feel great.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll feel really good.
You've got to get the amethyst right in there in the brain though. Like
Oh
you've got-
yeah, lodge it in.
yeah.
What is opalite meant to do?
No idea.
Have
It
to
just
do
looks
anything,
cool.
John.
It's just it has a slightly weird refractive index, so there's kind of always a rainbow
Yeah.
in it because it's always.
It kind of looks like the edge isn't distinct. It
Yeah.
looks like a ball of smoke.
Yeah, I have a ring and some earrings made of that as well. It's one of
Aren't
my
your
favourites.
dice made of that?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
They are some
They
good-looking
were in
dice.
here and they've gone away.
They were moved out of a room because this is not playtime.
This is very, very
No, I do
serious.
have-
This is work.
This is
I
how
do
Big
have a-
Punch earns its money.
I do have
With all
a
our
full set of
sponsorships and
tetrahedral
charities.
dice. Yeah.
Please call. Please God.
So yes, that is my love. I
Love
like
it.
shiny
Hey.
rocks.
Great work.
Lovely.
Ali.
Right, I've also brought a prop, which is
Oh.
not going to translate
Show and
well.
tell.
Should I move mine?
You're not going to like this
Let
one.
me move.
Maybe you will.
Hey, don't fill people's heads with
Please
your
don't be your
bias.
please don't be your cat. Please don't be your cat. Oh.
Comes in an Amazon
Right,
bag.
so
Oh.
this is a collection that I'm amassing.
Similar to
And
Lucy's.
Nick and I
Oh,
call it.
don't be hairballs.
Nick
or
and I call
toenails
it
or
the
something.
kitty.
Oh,
Add
no.
it to the kitty.
Oh,
It's dumpling hair.
So this is
Oh,
about 21 Yakults worth of cat hair.
Yeah. So I like to brush Dumpling, our cat, and collect the hair. And one day, probably quite soon actually, because I've got
I knew you wouldn't like it.
quite a lot here. I want to make her like a little felted hairstyle or a felted hat that she can wear. And she'll love it because it will smell of her. 'Cause it's her
Oh, yeah,
own
she'll
hair.
love it.
And
She'll
then
love
she'll have
it.
like a little plait or a little like princess hat or something.
I love how Lucy was really quick to make it clear that she wasn't a crazy person with her collection, and that her collection, people may think she's crazy with the things that she collects, but she was very, very, very clear on why she wasn't crazy. And that hasn't happened here today.
Would anybody
has
like
it?
to hold it?
No.
No.
It's so soft.
I feel okay.
It's about the size of Dumpling's
Okay,
head.
okay.
You brought this into their house.
Okay,
I'm
let's.
sorry, would you like me to put it back?
Yeah, please put it back in
I'll
your
put it
weird
away.
serial killer bag that you brought it in. Okay. Real talk. Okay.
I'm surprised that no one's on my side.
We all have weird things.
Apart from me.
Yeah, you're completely normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep stalling. Just calling the police
It's
on my
fine.
feet. I've got a phone under here.
Amazing.
Okay. We all have our own weird things. That's fine. Everyone's got a thing.
Sure.
The acid test is, if you were pulled over for speeding and the police found it in your car, would they arrest you? I feel this is like
Borderline.
It's not a crime
No,
to
I'm just
collect
saying.
cat hair.
And they go, step out of the car, please, madam. And then there's an officer at the back of the car who goes, I found a sack of hair. And it's like, and he's got gloves on and tweezers because you have brought into our house a bag within a bag
Yeah.
with a clump of hair. Like,
Dead organic
Okay,
material.
so I'm guessing you guys don't have a problem with sheep's wool.
Oh yeah, this
Wearing
is the
things
tried on
made from
me.
sheep's wool.
no.
Because Nick was like, oh, that's a bag of dead cat. And I'm like, well, if you wear a woolen coat,
That's
you're
how
not
I
saying you're
talk.
wearing a dead sheep. The
You could
sheep's
say
probably
that.
still alive.
Oh, it might be dead.
No. It's probably fine.
That sheep retired to live on a farm.
Yeah.
And it lived to 200 as well.
And he's here today.
in
Tap
a
dancing
world
in.
where resources are sparse and recycling is encouraged, I am merely taking what would have been discarded and making something useful from
I
it,
feel
like a little princess hat for my cat.
I feel like shearing cats is not the way to solve our...
I'm not
Oh,
sure.
well, economic-
I don't shear the cat. I just follow along behind her, picking up the scratches. I
tell you
pick
what,
up
John,
what's left on
You're
the edge of a
making it
litter
sound
tray.
weird.
After Brexit has happened, we're going to be thankful for this bag of cat hair. I'll tell you that now.
That's how we're staying warm this winter.
That's how we
In
are.
fact, I could make myself a Halloween costume out of that.
And you guys probably as well. If you
Yeah,
want.
Oh, please.
do you want
Oh, yeah.
But I bet you anything, like felted stuff that you see in shops, half of that's probably made from cat hair.
Probably not.
Probably is.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't use... Like, our cat is quite a different cat from your cat. He's much
Yeah.
more like a short-haired, lean, moggy kind of thing, rather than a pure breed, high-born,
Cloud.
Yeah.
blue-blooded.
And dumpling like malts everywhere.
But yeah, I don't think Bradley's hair would make anything.
No.
Like, it just gets everywhere. It just sort of explodes into fluffy
It's like bristles of a
individual
brush.
bits that go everywhere. And you find it all over the place.
I'd be
Like,
surprised.
You
If
should
you give
start
them a good
collecting it,
brush,
Lucy.
it will form clumps that you can easily pick up and
And eat.
keep.
Can we talk for a moment about the engineering process that's going to go into making... I'm sorry, what was it?
I quite like the idea of making her an actual hairstyle that she can
hairpiece.
wear. Yeah.
We found... I'm partly to blame for this. I'm an enabler because I found an article
You found a Tumblr page. That
I-
was nothing
it
but
was,
wigs
yeah.
for cats.
and it was entirely this. People who had collected their cat's hair and then turned them into hairstyles and hats on top of their cat's heads.
Well, the one you found was great because this woman had
Yeah, it was
3
great.
cats. One was ginger, one was sort of white, and one was between the two.
I never would have guessed that the person you're describing had a lot of cats.
And she would collect the fur from each of them, but keep them separate, and then she'd be able to like make patterned things because it would be like a white hat with like a
How brilliant is
ginger pattern on the front of it,
Glyph.
like a circle.
How
yeah,
is
a
she
glyph.
making hats?
You felt.
Well,
you make
yeah,
felt.
there's a process to felting, and I don't know what it is.
No, I don't know yet.
But it's something to
either.
do with compressing fibres together over and over, folding it back on itself. It's a bit like making
It's
a
already
sword.
started to do that in the bag.
Yeah, it did look particularly matted when you brought it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Oh, there's some other fluids in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
it's not like you've
fluids.
washed or treated
No,
it.
because
or
it's
anything.
dried, but the fluids were there for a while. I'm
What?
sure.
What
The
fluids?
natural
What are you
oils,
talking
You
about?
know,
You know,
your hand.
Vomit.
I threw up when you first showed it to me, and I thought it went in that bag.
Goodness sake. I shed hair all the time.
How did you think this would go down? When you brought this bag of cat hair along
This
to a
is a
podcast?
safe place.
How did you keep this quiet for an hour? You've known this has been in the studio
I'm
all this
so
time.
embarrassed, John. You have no idea.
It doesn't help that you brought out a clump roughly the size and dimensions of a human brain of cat hair.
How many Yakults worth was it?
I think I said 21 Yakults worth.
No, I think it's like 5.
It's 21.
I could hold it in both of my hands.
Yeah, I could hold 21 bottles of Yakult in my hands. I have done.
I feel like we need to
When I
test
was on the
that.
great Yakult heist.
On the underground Yakult road. I mean, do you have a loom at home? Are you breaking this down into fibres? Like how?
Not yet. Maybe I could.
I bet you
make
can
one.
probably buy a cat hair.
Yeah,
on
is it made
Etsy
out
or
of
something.
is it made out of toenails or something like that? Like
It's made out of rat bones.
Rat
No, that'd be weird.
Yeah, that'd be weird, John.
All I'm doing is making art by recycling
That's worse.
naturally occurring materials in the world,
no, I'm sorry. But
repurposing them.
at the moment, you had a slim window for like climbing your way out of this, and it's like. And the moment, this is what you say in court. I make art.
Yeah. Out of human remains.
Yeah. Arrest
Kids say-
society, not me.
Yeah.
Put her away. Take her away.
I have confidence that our listeners will support me.
Write in,
No.
please, if you are in support of this.
I feel like we need some photographic evidence to go out with this episode.
We'll put a photo of
Yeah.
the blob.
Yeah.
The kitty.
The cat blob.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
thought
allow
you
that?
meant dumpling.
Ah, we don't. Only refer to her as the blob at home, in safe space.
Yes. I've opened up today.
You certainly have.
So
You opened up that bag. John's
wow.
still very hungry.
Where do we go here? I mean, it's like there's so many things to unpack. Like, so
Well, no, she put
are
it
you
away.
gonna make this into a hairstyle for your cat? What sort of hairstyle?
I quite like maybe a plait coming down over her shoulder.
So you're going to weave cat hair?
Like weave 3 strands, thick strands that I can then plait together.
I need to show you this article because they made Viking helmets with
Yeah.
little horns on them, and they made like
a princess hat.
a tall conical princess hat with like a little bit of ribbon coming
I
out
feel the
top.
biggest mystery in this is how do you get the cat to keep it on? Like, my cat barely keeps his collars on.
But that's the beautiful thing because it's made of his own fur.
Or her.
Or her own
You
fur.
just said
She's
beautiful.
Just not, yeah, she's not going to notice it.
She's going to look gorgeous.
Yeah.
So you're tricking the cat?
No, not tricking. Just
John, it's like if I while you were asleep,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm glad you've gone here because my mind was here as
Hang
well.
on,
Yeah.
Dumpling is awake and consenting when I brush her
consenting.
and
Okay,
collect
cool.
her hair.
No, Ali's right, Nick. So it's like you come into my bedroom at night
and say, hey John, can I take your liver?
and I'm lying on my back
okay,
with
you're
my
lying-
eyes open. I
Yeah.
go, yeah, of course, Nick, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I just cut in a little bit.
Oh
and I
well,
just-
so you've gone for scabbing.
yeah.
I
That's
kind of
very
pictured you come in and
invasive.
shave me every night.
No, I'm going deeper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Take an organ out.
Take a bit of blood.
Yeah. Carve that organ, maybe
Mm.
into the shape of a crown, and just perch it on your little head. And I say to you, John, it's made of you.
If you
And he won't notice it.
You won't notice, despite there's blood dripping down your face.
thing is, okay, if we take like the surgery out of the equation, it's
hard to do that.
You consentingly, I know you're doing it. You shave a little bit of hair every day,
Just a little bit every
From-
day, so you don't notice.
or you follow around behind me and you sweep
Just
up
catch
any
what
loose
falls.
hairs. Yeah, and then after maybe a year, you present to me on my birthday.
Yes.
So you've got 362 days.
Yeah.
From today.
Now's the time to start.
You presented me a jacket woven entirely out of my own hair,
Made of your leavings.
and you say, no, it's beautiful
yeah,
because
it's art.
because it smells like him.
You wouldn't even notice you're wearing it.
Therefore, therefore
Don't go out in the rain, though.
he won't reject it.
You won't reject it. It's like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exactly like that.
I would actually argue it's weirder if Nick kept it for himself. I think giving it back to you is like an empowering thing.
Oh, so this is your way of saying that you're not weird because
Yeah.
you're giving it back to Dumpling.
Yeah, I'm just giving it like, oh, Dumpling, I think you dropped something. You
That I've been
dropped all your
collecting
fur. Here's it back
so
for
not
you.
knowing is better.
Not knowing.
Like Dumpling not knowing that you're playing this sick game with her. A form of effluence.
I've told her all about
Oh,
it.
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I've showed it to her. Sometimes I get the clump out and let her sniff it.
She does sniff it.
If somebody came to you and said, hi, nice to meet you, knock on my door, you don't know me, but I've been secretly collecting...
There's nothing secret about
No,
this.
I've been...
She could listen to this podcast if she wanted to.
all the things that your body sheds that you don't need anymore, I have fashioned an earthenware bowl out of soil that I've collected from your toilet. Again, and by soil I mean man
Feces.
soil. I mean like night soil, human soil. And I've refined it, and it's perfectly clean, and it's magical, and it's beautiful because it's
art.
It's art,
Yeah.
and it's an expression of nature. And I fashioned this wide-brimmed earthenware bowl,
pot.
which is dry to the touch, and I'm giving it to you now as a gift
That's okay, right?
because it came.
Now we're square.
Because it came from you. And it's beautiful, and it smells like you, and you know it's from your body because it smells like you. And let's pose with it. Let's put it on the dresser. And please stand next to it because I want to upload photos to my Tumblr so I can engage with the other community members.
I think that's gross. I would never have a Tumblr account.
Oh, I see. That's what's gross.
I would put it on my Instagram.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, well, fuck it. Show's over. There's no point
All
doing
right.
anything
Where
else.
do we go from here?
I think that's the end.
Well,
Ah.
I mean, it's still up for debate. Let's say that.
Nick, save us,
Undecided.
Nick.
I mean, my love's food, and it just feels so
Food?
wrong now. No, not food in general.
Oh, right.
But I was going to say my love's Taco Bell because I discovered it recently, and it was so much more than I thought it would be, and you know, and I was going to wax lyrical about this, but what's the point now? Just what's the point?
Everyone will still just be thinking of little cat hats.
I was going to say ducks. I was going to talk about ducks. I love how they look. I love how they waddle. I love eating them.
Yeah.
Now I can't really talk about that either.
No.
So what if you were following a duck and it dropped a feather? Would you pick it up?
Maybe.
And then
One.
if it dropped another one, you pick the other one up?
Oh, we're already in problem territory. I feel. What's wrong with that poor
I was
duck?
about to say that this duck's got radiation poisoning or something.
It's a Chernobyl.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Wow.
You sure? You
We
don't want
actually
to talk about
just
Taco Bell?
just solidly gave up on love.
I don't. Well,
We got 50% through love.
no, I think we could argue that love may have won today,
Yeah.
despite the fact that there's only two of them.
Because God knows you need a lot of love to embark on what you're doing to that poor cat.
I'm not doing anything.
It's all
to
coming
her.
from a loving place.
It is.
I think if you just told me you were like making a pillow out of it, and the pillow was going to be for the cat, and no human hand would ever have to touch it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, it's a cat made. It's a pillow made of cat
For a cat.
but you're making like a hat out of it. You're not even making
Not
like,
even a hat, it's a hairstyle.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a wig.
a hat would be better.
Is Dumpling notably thin on top? I hadn't noticed.
She's got bald ears. Her ears are
you
actually
keep
quite
plucking
cold.
Yeah, for precious hair. Are you going to
I
make
think
holes
she'll
in the
love
wig for the ears?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Obviously.
So that'll go well.
Yeah.
You'll all be sorry. You'll all be wanting one when you see
If-
how amazing she looks.
If
I
and
feel
when
like
you...
you'll all be sorry is definitely leaning towards the serial.
Yeah, that's really the wrong angle, I think. You'll be sorry.
Mad, they called me mad.
Oh, when you do this thing, this sort of occult
Art.
practice.
Art.
Sorry, yes, art.
The great undertaking.
We'll put a picture on the show called Hate Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And the judge is sentencing you, and he goes, hey, Ma, in all my life I've never seen it. And you go, really? Walks out in your head, and he looks up and goes, oh no, oh no, this wig, it's made of cat.
There's a cat in the corner.
And it's beautiful.
I'm beautiful.
So,
So what won?
what one, love or hate?
Love.
Love.
Definitely love.
Love.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this as endorsement of what I'm doing.
You see it however you want, serial killer lady.
Well, I do kind of feel that Ali won the episode. It wasn't a competition, but you did. On that note, Ali, is there anything you'd like to say now that might be used in defence or court? Like,
Just cat hats forever, I think.
Hashtag cat
Hashtag
hats.
cat hats forever.
Yeah, use that hashtag, people.
could hood.
Yes,
No.
indeed.
No.